All right, guys, I wanted to do a short little video just to help you with some review on algebra, because I still have some students that are really struggling to understand. So I want to start with this problem up here. -2 times 4 plus 8. Now, if we ignore all algebra that we've learned and you look at this problem, we would solve it by doing the order of operations. So the order of operations tells us we would do our multiplication first. Well, if we do our multiplication first, we would do -2 times 4. Well, -2 times 4 is -8. And then we would bring down plus 8. And we would then add, because that's our next step. -8 plus 8 is actually 0. So my solution would be 0, just by following the order of operations. All right, now, when we get to algebra, we're not given all the information or all the numbers. So we have to solve for that variable. And instead of using the order of operations, we have to work backwards because we want to get that guy all by itself at the very end. And so in order to do that, we can't start with that because we wouldn't have all of our information. We want to start with what's not with our variable. Okay, so I'm going to draw my balance line. And the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this plus 8. Well, the opposite of plus 8 would be subtract 8. Because again, our goal is to get the x by itself. So we have to undo what's with our variable. So we subtract 8 from both sides. We get -2x equals 20 minus 8, which is 12. Okay. Now I have -2 times x equals 12. Well, -2 times x, we want to undo the multiplication by dividing. So we're going to divide by -2. The reason is -2 divided by -2 gives us a positive 1, x, because we don't want to lose our variable. And so that's where we get our x, because we don't really have to write that 1 anymore. Go over to the right-hand side and divide by a -2. 12 divided by -2 is equal to -6. So our answer is actually x equals -6. To check our work, we then put it back into the problem where we see x. So we would do -2 times 6 plus 8. Okay, order of operations says do your multiplication first. -2 times -6 gives us a positive 12. Bring down our plus 8. 12 plus 8 gives us 20. And that answer checks with what we were given. So our answer is correct. X is equal to -6. Okay, let's look at another one with division in it. So if we look at this next one, it says 5 minus x divided by 4 equals 10. Normally, we would start with that division if we were given that number, but we're not. So we want to start with what is not with our variable. So we want to start with this 5. Well, that's a positive 5. How would I undo a positive 5? And it's positive because there's no sign in the front. So the opposite of positive would be negative. So I would have a -5. 5 minus 5 is 0, so they cancel out. They're gone. And if I do that here, I go to the right and I also do that there. I bring down what I have not used. So I have not used any of this information. -x divided by 4 equals 10 minus 5, which is 5. Okay, so now it says -x divided by 4 equals 5. To undo that division, we are going to multiply, because the opposite of division is multiply, and we need to make it positive, so we're going to multiply by a -4. Now, when I do that, I'm going to show you my steps here. Oh, I added an extra multiplication sign there. You would get negative, or positive, because a negative times a negative is positive. You would get 4x over 4. Because, again, we would look at this like it was a fraction. And we would multiply straight across. Negative times a negative is positive. 4 times 1x is 4x. 1 times 4 is 4. So we're left with x, because 4 divided by 4 is 1. Now, this work we don't always have to show because that's the math we're doing and why we're doing it. Now, on this side, if I multiplied by a -4 here, I also have to go over here and make sure I do it there, or else my equation is not balanced. So I multiply by -4 here, and I get -20. Now, I'm going to check my answer. So wherever I see x, I'm going to put a negative 20. So I have 5 minus negative 20 divided by 4 equals 10. Okay, order of operations. First thing I want to do is this division. Negative 20 divided by 4 is negative 5. So I have 5 minus negative 5 equals 10. All right, so we learned, excuse me, a while back that we want to turn subtraction of a negative into additive inverse. So we would do keep 5, change subtraction to addition, and negative 5 becomes positive. Well, when I do that, 5 plus 5, it does equal 10. So my answer or my solution is correct because it matches up. All right, guys, I hope that helps some. We need to continue to practice and use our notes to help us.